Hey guys, it's Leo Stargazer. I'm here today with our weekly tarot reading. This is for the week of December 3rd through December 9th, 2023. Today's reading will center around passion and boundaries. I have a sense that this week we are going to really want to dive really deep into our passions, and we should. But I think that there's a sense that while we're exploring those depths, we might need to understand our limits. Understand at least where we can become vulnerable while on these deep dives. This journey could be really intense. So I just want us to have an idea about how we can find some structure so that we can dive as deeply as we want to, and we can go to as many and as far-flung extremes as feels appropriate to really discover our deepest, almost unconscious relationship with passion and love. So let's get started. As I shuffle, let's think about passion. Think about romance. If it's not something romantic, if you're not in that zone right now, think about art, how creative passion can inspire you. Let's take a deep breath. And draw our cards. The first card is in the position of passion. The card that I draw here is the Eight of Wands reversed. Okay, interesting. Now we'll draw a crossing card. This card will represent boundaries, potential challenges to that passion, or boundaries that need to be established around that passion. The crossing card of boundaries is the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Finally, advice. What advice can we get? What do we need to hear? What kind of guidance do we need to help us either react to these boundaries appropriately, to free up our passion, or to overcome the challenge to do the same? What's the advice? The Six of Wands reversed. Okay, pretty complicated outcome, unfortunately. If this spread is about finding out how to boundary our passion in a way that can help us dive as deeply as we can into an engagement with it, the outcome of this spread shows that complication is definitely present. I think in this case, ironically, the challenge card may provide us our most important point of clarity. So starting off with the Eight of Wands reversed, I think first of all, it's interesting that there's two wands reversed. Something to focus on. This idea of passion showing up through the wands, but then having them both be reversed, hinting that there's something that needs to be brought back into control. Well, getting the Eight of Wands reversed as our passion card shows me that at this stage of the journey, there's a sense that our passion projects, our passionate interests are just kind of continuously thrusting forward when we kind of want them to land somewhere. Either land with a partner, land with some beautiful inspiration, potentially a creative project manifesting, something like that. But with it reversed, we're kind of just, our passions are kind of just continuing to grow, to move forward, but not really find any point of landing, which is important. Like I said, I was sensing that there's this idea that our passions could kind of get out of control, or we could dive too deep, and that maybe make us too vulnerable. And I think I wanted to see what the challenge was, or what the boundary needed to be. And in that position, we got the Queen of Pentacles. And like I said earlier, getting the Queen of Pentacles as our challenge position juxtaposed against these two Wands cards in reverse shows me that what's most important this week by miles and miles and miles is trusting ourselves and trusting our awareness of self. That's where our authority is. That's how we set up boundaries. We set up boundaries by trusting our feelings, trusting our gut. If we sense we're going too far, we probably are, pull back. If we sense we're not diving deep enough, you're not. Dive deeper. We gain authority through agency, and we gain agency through self-awareness. Because the other two cards are reversed wands, this idea that passion is out of control needs to be reeled in by the Queen of Pentacles. She is here to say, own what you are, own who you are, own what you own, and use that to dive deep and create boundaries around your passions, your passion projects, your romantic relationships, your romantic pursuits, your engagement with love in general. Okay, so I keep talking about two reversed wands. Well, the other reversed wand was the Six of Wands reversed. But that card showed up in the position of advice or guidance. I was hoping that the advice position would give us the clarity that we needed. Well, it turns out that the boundary, the challenge, is actually the advice. And the advice shows up more as a warning. The warning is that, and also the advice is that you can't fake it. Fake passion from a place of a lack of self-awareness or a lack of self-control is our enemy, really. It's the enemy of passion. The Queen of Pentacles really shows up not as a challenge, but as a reminder that agency and self-awareness and self-respect is key if you are really going to engage in deep, unconscious, really resonant love. The Six of Wands reverse says you can't fake that. You can't fake that passion. You shouldn't. That's not what's going to keep you boundaried. What's going to keep you boundaried is authority over your own depths, authority over an awareness of and a respect for your journey, the journey you're on to pursue the deepest place of passion you can find within your psyche, within your soul. I think it's crucial this week that we do that. So let's respond to this idea that our passions can't land, this idea that we're just going to keep firing on forward. Let's respond to that by using the challenge and the boundary of the Queen of Pentacles to remember to trust ourselves, remember to trust our instincts, trust our awareness, use that to create agency, and then use that agency to be authoritative over your passions so that you can wield them into something beautiful, loving, pleasurable, and extremely passionate. The outcomes here will be much more sustainable if we approach them with this sense of balance. Still push as far as you can to the extremes, but trust when you feel too vulnerable and trust your limitations. Balance is beautiful, and even if we're pushing extremes, especially of passion, fiery, passionate extremes, even if we're pushing that, be authentic. And the best way to be authentic is to trust yourself. Let's do that. Let's ignite our passions this week. Let's push ourselves, but let's also understand and utilize our authoritative boundaries. Self-trust and self-awareness is the key to endless, sustainable passion. Let's pursue it. I'll see you next week.